Hi everybody. I hope you had a good Shavuos. This week is Parshas Naso. And if you're flying high from Shavuos like I am, I had a great time learning, friends, great meals. My wife made a masterpiece of courses. It was just fantastic. Great company, like I said, and great learning. So the question is, okay, now we're heading to the summer months. In a few weeks, we have Shifas B'Tammuz, we'll be fasting, then Tisha B'Av. It's like, okay, so this is kind of carry us until Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, and hopefully Sukkot. That's a long time. So the question is, does the inspiration evaporate, or do we turn it into something? In this week's parsha, we talk about Nazir. It's chapter 6, and it tells us why is the parsha of Nazir next to the story in parsha of Mei Sota, the unfaithful wife. And it tells us, the pasuk tells us that a Nazareth, he wants to get closer to Hashem, and he withholds and he creates a prohibition of not drinking wine. And Rashi points out in the second verse that Yazir Atzmai Min Hayayim, because he separates himself from wine, because he sees that when you're drinking, you forget about boundaries, and that's something that probably led to the unfaithful wife. And so too in life, when you have no guardrails, you end off going off the road. And so the Nazir, after experiencing, or this person seeing what happens to the Sota, Ishat Sota, he's so inspired. It's one of those mitzvot of Sota that relies on a miracle. That's the Ramban. So he says, oh my God, this is like really miraculous. And so what does he do? He says, I got to take some action for myself. So he separates himself from the wine. My point being is that if you have inspiration in your life and you don't take a small action, then the inspiration evaporates. Inspiration without perspiration equals zero. I think back to COVID days, and I remember not being able to go to shul, and how much I enjoyed being in shul to see my friends and to daven, and it was being part of the community. And for many months, we weren't allowed in. And so when we went back in, I said, what am I going to take upon myself? What is God? What's the message? I don't know, but I'm not going to take shul for granted. How do I up my game? So for me, I took on a small thing because I was afraid to take on a big thing. And what was the small thing? I don't use my phone in shul. I don't text. I don't look at my phone. I have a cholim list, people that are sick, I daven for, but that's it. If I need to text somebody, I need to send an email, the phone's going to ring, I take it outside. That was my commitment. I turned that situation of a negative situation to something positive for me. And hopefully that's added reverence for me. So my advice to you is, when you're inspired to feel closer to Hashem, you're inspired after Shavuos, find something small that you can take upon yourself to make that inspiration into a reality. Anyway, I want to wish everybody a great Shabbos. If you like what you hear, please pass it on. Shabbat Shalom.